Thank you, Estonia, for inviting us and to share our experience. We would like to introduce ourselves. We are from the 116,000, the 116,000 hotline in the Netherlands. And in the Netherlands, that belongs to the International Child Abduction Center. And of the cases we receive per year from missing children, 1/3 is due to the reason of international child abduction, and 1/3 is due to runaways. Our International Child Abduction Center gives information, legal advice, and guidance to parents of missing children. Could you maybe raise your hands when you have a partner who is from another nationality than yourself?
All Estonian love partners here.
I see there one waving in the back. Or do you maybe have children that have a partner with who's from another nationality than Estonian? Well, to give you an idea,
we have one very international someone in the back. I can see. Very good.
Well, I would like to introduce my colleague Martine, and she's working for the International Child Abduction Center since 2010. She's a legal advisor, and she's project manager as well for the 116,000 hotline. And I'm working for the 116,000 hotline in the Netherlands since September 2012. And this is the year we got financial support from the European Union. So.
Thank you for the introduction. Well, I think what Mireille already said is a perfect example of an international child abduction and what international relationships can mean, because Mart introduced me as Elisabeth and Mireille introduced me as Martine, which is the name I use on a daily basis, and which is also something international couples face. We had parents call us and say, my son's name is Luke. I'm an American father and his name is Luke. And the mother from the Netherlands called us and she said, zijn naam is Lucas. Lucas is his name. And they were talking about the same child, but they called him different names. Those are, excuse me, those are challenges international couples face. We mostly deal with them after they have been married and they had problems. So they're divorced, or they're separating, or they're just missing their children in another country. The International Child Abduction Center in the Netherlands has been established in 2006, and we are founded from an organization who found a lot of mothers calling them, Dutch mothers coming to the Netherlands with their children after their marriage has failed. Like the former speaker also said, this is the biggest group we are facing now. And these mothers faced procedures and were forced to return their children to the other country, and they were seeking for help. Then we were able to get finance from our Ministry of Safety and Justice to have a Dutch expertise center on international child abduction. We're an NGO, which means we give independent advice. And there are legal advisors working for our company as well. This means our organization has 4 legal advisors, 2 hotline operators, and of course a secretary and a general manager who cannot be missed. One of the parts of the center ECO, besides the 116,000, is the Mediation Bureau. There is one legal officer working there, and she's responsible for the coordination of all cross-border mediations in the Netherlands. Cross-border means international couples, people from different countries, where a child has been taken to the Netherlands, and we try to solve that in mediation. So all international child abductions in the Netherlands are tried to have a reconciliation in mediation, and we try to encourage people to come to a solution. And we are responsible for the coordination of all those cases. The 116,000 hotline is a part of the Center ECO, And this is why we are dealing now with all kinds of international family relations, missing children, all are combined in one organization. And this multidisciplinary approach makes us very accessible for all kinds of parents who need us. Besides working in the Netherlands, we also have international projects and partners. For example, visiting Estonia in this regard. But furthermore, we have organized the conference by ourselves last May in The Hague, called LEPCA, Lawyers in Europe on Parental Child Abduction, which is an international conference of lawyers all across Europe who came together. Because as police, social workers, everybody is trying to help the children, but the lawyers are helping the parents, and we expect parents to be able to assist their children in their best interest. But sometimes they just need a little assistance, and to have a lawyer who knows what he's talking about and who knows what an international child abduction means and can have, which impact it can have on a child is very relevant. We have had a network in the Netherlands of experienced lawyers for 8 years. We send out a questionnaire, we ask them about their experiences, which languages they spoke, and which countries they were dealing with. And in LEPCA we did that internationally as well. So now we have a European network of lawyers who know what they're talking about, so we can refer clients to them. And MIC is a partner in Germany, a mediation organization, which we cooperate a lot in the mediations. So what do we do? Mireille already said, parents can call us or send us an email for legal advice, information and guidance. They are not able to come to our office, but we have volunteers who can visit them at home if it is necessary. And they can call us about international child abduction, international access, relocation, the request to move legally to another country. Everything comes by. And at the center, we highly value our policy to have updates. So when someone calls us, we always call them back 2 weeks later to ask how they were doing. Did they understand our legal advice? I mean, I'm a lawyer. I know how to explain everything in legal terms, but a parent has never heard this before, and it's about the most valuable thing to them, their child. So we totally understand that in the first conversation, maybe some things get mixed up, and then we call them again. Did you understand? No? Okay, we explain everything again. No problem. A case of international child abduction, like my colleague already stated, 2 parents are married, living in the Netherlands, and the father calls me and says, okay, my son has been taken to Cuba, and I want to know how to get them back. We discussed with the parents, okay, have you tried to find some way to mediate together? Have you been in contact with her relatives? Did you call her mother? Did you call her sister? Is there any way the family can come to a solution? Besides that, we explain the Hague Convention. I will get back to that in a minute. And we explain the possibilities regarding the police. In the Netherlands, child abduction is a criminal offense, and it's every parent's choice whether or not they want to report this to the police. A case of threatening child abduction. Yeah, you might say, okay, what does that have to do with anything? What we also do in the center is prevention. The former speakers have spoken about it as well. Prevention of child abduction, prevention of bullying, prevention of sexual exploitation. We believe also international child abductions may be prevented. So parents call us, about 280 a year, so it's really filling a need which is available for the parents. And the first conversation, usually it takes 45 minutes to an hour, and we try to assess the situation. Okay, how is this person established in the Netherlands? Did he buy a house, or is he renting a house? Does he have a job? Does he have any debts to pay? How is the family? Is he integrated here, etc.? All those kinds of questions are discussed. And then we try to discuss with parents legal, but also practical things they can do to try to prevent an international child abduction. Statistics. I was asked to tell you a little bit about our statistics. And that is what, in 2013, we had 174 international child abduction. That's both from and to the Netherlands, because both parents, everything can come to us. And this involved 271 children. So that's a lot. That's one every working day. And 45 missing children. This may not seem like a lot, because not all missing or abducted children may be reported to us. But if you compare our numbers to the ones of the Central Authority, which we also have, 95% is combined, is similar to that. These numbers may seem small to you, especially compared to the numbers of times sexual exploitation happens. But we are a country of 70 million inhabitants, so we're not the biggest country, although I understand Estonia is a lot smaller. So for us, this is quite high, and it has a lot of attention in the Netherlands. Another statistics we use are email and telephone. This is also always something that people say, yeah, why would you keep track of that? Well, we are an NGO. We have financing from the government and from the European Commission, and we want to show that we are needed. We cannot be missed anymore. As you can see, from 2007 until now, we have increased really in the number of parents and professionals calling us, and being able to register and make the statistics correctly every year makes us prove to our financiers that we are needed. Which countries are the children taken to in the last 3 years? It's funny to hear from the Central Authority Estonia that you have cases with Finland, Sweden and Russia. We have it with Belgium, Germany and France. France is does not have borders with the Netherlands, but Belgium is very small, so you can understand that people cross through there as well. Turkey, we have a lot of Turkish immigrants in the Netherlands, and these are countries on which a lot of children were taken to or taken from. For example, people say, yeah, but they're Western countries, why would you have a problem with that? You can solve it, they're all party to the Hague Convention, I don't really see the problem. The United States of America, it takes you approximately $100,000 to be able to perform a procedure under the Hague Convention. So that's a big investment, which of course everybody is willing to take for their child, but you need to have the money. Not everybody does, unfortunately. And our experience, therefore, is it's very important to also prevent cases to Hague Convention countries. What to do if your child has been taken? In the Netherlands, our experience is that 70% of the child abductions are performed by the mother. That was not the idea when they drafted the Hague Convention. It is drafted in 1980, and the idea was the Muslim father who is not taking care of the child takes it to a Muslim country and we never see it again. That was the idea when they drafted the convention. Reality has changed, and now it turns out that 70% of the abductions are performed by the mother, who is going back to her family after the marriage has broken down, and who is facing herself as the caring parent, usually taking care of the children all the time, and she's facing herself with these procedures. And she's calling us and saying, I don't want to return to Ireland, for example. That is the daily basis for us, and that is why we are very much encouraging parents to solve the problem in the country of the habitual residence. Find a lawyer there, which is also the reason why we have the LEPCA network. Help them to have a lawyer in that country in order to prevent them from coming to the Netherlands before they have arranged everything. The caring parent is not something which is named in the Hague Convention. There's no separation between someone who's taking care of the children or not. So that's a lack in the convention, some say. You have Hague countries and non-Hague countries. The big difference is, if there is a Hague country, it means you have a central authority there. It means that everything will be translated. The legal system is aimed at solving international child abductions, and the non-Hague countries are dependent on diplomatic procedures. Criminal law, if your child had been taken, who would file a police report of these participants? If your child was taken to Russia, who would file a police report? Okay. All right, that's good. Our experience is when people call us, my child has been taken, they want immediately to go to the police. We try to give them a mirror and explain them also that there may be negative consequences to going to the police because an arrest warrant might be filed against the mother of your child. My colleague will explain about national abductions.
We do see an increase in national abductions. This is mostly because women fled to women's shelter. We were contacted in 2013 23 times. And to give you an idea, in 2012, this was 6 times. So we see that another parent, because of a divorce battle, is not giving access to the other parent to the child. We hear mostly as well from parents, we hear more and more that they are falsely accused from abuse by the other parent to restrict access. So this takes more and more place. I would like to give you a bit more information about the 116,000 hotline in the Netherlands. This started in 2008, but as I mentioned before, we got financial support since 2012. So that's when I started working there. I'm guiding parents of missing children by phone. And 1/3 is runaways and 1/3 is due to international child abduction. We work quite closely together with the police force because they do the investigation and that stays with the police and it belongs to the police. So we are an added value, so to say, to the parents. If children ran away to other countries, we send out a cooperation request to ask the other 116,000 hotlines to assist. Personally, I send out 2 cross-border cooperation requests since I'm working. So that's in 2 years. One was to all the 116,000 hotlines. It was parents who lived in the United States. They divorced, and the father abducted the 12-year-old boy to Europe, and we didn't know where in Europe. A friend of the mother, she read about our organization, so that's why she contacted us. And we contacted all the 116,000 hotlines in Europe, which, to give you an idea, are 27 hotlines in Europe. And this boy was found safely back within 3 weeks after we sent out a request. And the first time the mother contacted us, the child was already gone for 6 weeks. So you can imagine that this gives a lot of satisfaction to find the child safe back again. Another case that I would like to tell you about is a girl of 15 years old. She ran away from her father in the Netherlands. She grew up with her mother in Morocco, where she lived as well with her mother for 14 years, and she didn't see her father. They had the idea that it would be good for the girl to study here in the Netherlands, but that didn't have her interest. So she ran away to her aunt in France, and we suspected that she would be there. So we contacted the French police, and thanks to their cooperation, they went to look for her there and found her safe as well within 3 weeks. So the cooperation between the 116,000 hotlines is very valuable and works really good. Well, what did we do since we got financial support? We give a lot of prevention presentations at school, both for parents and for children, to improve the safety of the children. We established as well a network of psychologists in case of trauma or when somebody has to deal with a missing person, we can refer well to psychologists. So we sent them out on an inquiry, and thanks to that, we have a complete network now in the Netherlands. We did a flyer campaign, sent it to schools, to city councils, and to infant welfare organizations. We have in the Netherlands as well, once a year, a remembrance day for left behinds of missing persons. So we visit that, and we invite every year a left behind person or a left behind loved one of a missing person in our office, and ask them to share their experience and to hear their story. And we invested highly in training sessions, and you can think about, we were trained by the police force as well. We were trained in inheritance law by a professor, as well how to reduce the stress level when somebody calls us. In psychological profiles, we got a better understanding, and how to get a better understanding of trauma, how to diagnose that. To give you a few examples. My personal advice I would like to give in the 2 years, always refer to, always mention the name of the missing person. This confirms the value of their lives. Always stand next to the caller instead of in front of them. And reduce the stress level of the client by summarizing their story. They have the feeling that they are heard and understood. And always listen to their story 20 times, because nobody else does. And this helps to face reality. And I would like to thank you for listening to our presentation as well. And we would love to hear questions from you if you have.
Thank you, aitäh. Aitäh, kas auditooriumil on küsimusi Hollandi sarnaste telefonide toimimise kohta, mis on meilgi loodud? Kohe hetkel ei näe käsi tõusmas. There are your gifts for the first. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I have the one question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because I made this survey about this phone of the helpline, children's helpline in Estonia, I recognized that there is a kind of mess between the telephone numbers. But there are so many telephone numbers. There's something for the missing children, something for the helpline, and sometimes they think that they need to call to the social worker in the local government, or to the police, 112. Everyone knows it. Do you have such a confusion in the Netherlands as well, and what are the things you do to avoid it?
Yes, we have that confusion as well. 112, which you can call for the police, is highly known in the Netherlands. About 98% of the people know the number and call it if they have any problem. You can't think of it. The 1160 hotline is not so well known in the Netherlands because we didn't were able to finance it since 2012. So the European Commission values the number and wants people to call it for a missing child. But for us, it's a challenge to learn people to call it instead of 112 when they call the police. That is something we hope to continue in the future in order to solve the confusion. For us, for the International Child Abduction Center, our number is well known. We have been existing now for 8 years. And people sometimes call when they need child protection. But everybody is always helped. We never say, oh, you have the wrong number, bye. We always try to give them the right and make sure they get to the right address. And our experience is because we are an NGO, that we are far more accessible than the police or the government. So therefore we try to help anybody who contacts us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Veel kord aplaus, aitäh esinejale.